Welcome to Capture and Connect, and I am definitely in the wrong space. Maybe. Let's see. So I put a ticket into Riverside because when I came back on to do this live podcast again, it said that I had to reconnect to YouTube. So I'm going to look. I see a chat. And I wanna see where I'm at. Hello from India. Hello. So P's here. Yay. Somebody's here. Woo, woo. Good, because I appreciate you. We are on the wrong actual link, but you went to my channel, I believe, is probably how you got in. So I'm gonna go in right now and see. It's showing there's 2 different places that it's showing, and I'm gonna actually go and see which if my video's on, that the link that I give you guys, and I said, "No, looks like I'm here," and I'm gonna go back and see. I made a new friend on YouTube. So excited. And now it says upcoming. So where am I on YouTube? Boy, I have to say that I've been real flustered. I was on it's called they're Riverside, they're very nice, but they're not used to having lives, streams that are scheduled in. So this is new to the platform. So I schedule it in and then I spread it off to everyone saying, "Hey, how's it going?" And hi Keith. Keith's here. So people are here. What? I have to see where I'm at though. Oh, here it is. Okay, I see it. I see. Hello. Okay. I'm going to teach you guys today how to sell. But before I do this, if you've sold an image and you want to sell again, I'm going to teach you how to do it. But before I get going, let me share with you. Hey, hey. I give gifts too if you guys stay to the end. I love to give gifts. Let me go to my YouTube. Sorry about all this mess. It is technical difficulty stuff, but I'm here and I will definitely share how to keep selling. But let me get to the right people because uh, I told them where I was at and it's the wrong space. So let me make sure I'm here. I'm going to text. I'm going to go back and then I'll get going. So this podcast, while I'm chatting, well, it won't let me go. Hmm. Let's see. Live chat. I'm trying to chat. And well, I see the old stuff. Oh well, hopefully they'll go to the channel because I'm just going to get this started because obviously it's not working properly. There's two things showing that I'm on live on YouTube and I'm not there on YouTube. I didn't even go to LinkedIn because I wanted to make sure that only had one platform. And this way there wouldn't be any problems, and there's problems again. So I will just have to share this to everyone. There's actually a person waiting on the other stream, so I apologize. Let me just say I'm here. I found it. I'm here, and then I can have some fun. Yeah, there's definitely problems. Before it's called Riverside. So whenever you're doing something, there's different streams that you could use. And I did have another platform that I really loved, but I'm a podcaster and all of this stuff goes on to I might as well just start sharing my stuff so you could see. So I do this live because I like to interact with photographers or creatives that really want to build a business, talk creative, and tell the people that you can't do a business from what you love and tell them that, yeah, you can. I'm a person that's like, if you really want something, you could do it. You just got to figure out how we could do it. So today is a real good one, especially if you've already sold an image and then what has happened, I met a new friend and on YouTube and he was saying, "I've sold an image, but I'm having problems." So the more you guys ask questions, the more that I will work and help photographers because I've been doing this for many, many years. Didn't hang out with photographers at all. So one of the things that I like to do is also share you guys when you say hi on the stream. Hello. Hello. I like to say hi to you guys. So when you guys ask questions and stuff like that, I can actually answer them. That's what this is all about, live. Otherwise, I would just tape it and then just put it into the various YouTube streams like most podcasters do. They don't do it live. They cut it all up and then they go for it, make it nice and pretty. But I like to hang out with you guys. So you could see that I am here at 11:30 every single Tuesday. I do this every single Tuesday, but lately the company that I use, Riverside, is having a hard time when I plan what I wanna do, and then actually when I get on, it says reconnect, reconnect, and what it's doing is giving me a wrong link. So every all my followers and everybody are got the wrong links to come join me. So I apologize that I can't. It is what it is, right? I mean, but today we'll push it out so you guys can have it later. So after I'm done with this podcast, what I do is I will go in and cut it and I put it on to Spotify, Apple, and Audible, which is part of Amazon and Amazon Music, and I cut it all up. So when we're chatting back and forth, I will not put that in. I will only put the really juicy information that goes into the actual podcast on these platforms. So I'm very excited because we are going to dive in right now and I'm just going to go for it. And we're going to talk about my friend who has sold an image and now he says he's having a hard time selling again. So I thought, "Oh my gosh, this is so perfect," because I totally understand that. I totally feel that pain. So let me go over here to YouTube real quick. I have my other big computer and I'm just gonna go to me and make sure that, "Hey, hey, here I am." Huh? Oh, well, it is what it is. Okay. So let's chat. And now, if any of you guys have sold an image before and you got that feeling, I will tell you, I understand. The I've had it, and it's been really frustrating for me because my past. If any of you guys don't know who I am. I'm Janice Sullivan and I licensed my photography. And in the beginning, what happened was I went to college and I sold one of my pieces to the art department chair. Now, if that wasn't the best feeling ever, I don't know how anybody could. I mean, your art department chair says, "I'm going to buy this piece from you." And I was like, "Whoa, that is so cool." So the first I got instantly the taste of passion to profit. And it was a great feeling, right? This person came to me though. So she came to me and she says, "I will pay you and I will pay you this much." And I mean, she even said, "How much do you want?" And I'm like, "I don't know. I've never even sold my photography before. I have no idea." So it was such a great feeling, but just like everyone else, I didn't really know who my market was. I didn't really know. I just knew it felt good to somebody bought something from me and it was the department chair. So I was like, "Oh yeah, this is very, very cool." So I went on my sister told me, I'm going to give you some ideas about social media, but back in those days social media was not a big thing. Matter of fact, Facebook was like, oh, just to find people to as friends. It was had nothing totally different and I didn't like that platform at the time. And so my sister told me about LinkedIn. And so what I did was I actually went into LinkedIn and especially for those of you guys that want to sell business to business, LinkedIn is the place. You get a lot of spammy. I'll tell you the first thing if somebody says, "Hey, you want to work with me? I could do this for you," and I've never heard of them, I'm not going to trust you. So that's what we're going to build today's trust too. So there is too much spam, too much junk out there that people won't trust. So I'm going to share with you how to keep what's the next step? What do we got to do the next step, right? So not only did I start going onto LinkedIn, I was kind of peeking around at is there any other photographers, what people will want? I didn't really know. So I saw some groups popping up like landscape photography, and I was like, okay, I'll jump in there. I was hanging out with other photographers, right? And then what I did was, uh oh, I see Keith, I see something. I'll pop you up in a second for sure, because I see people are not interested in buying. I will definitely we will talk about that. So, I definitely went to the groups, but I was hanging out with photographers, and because I was kinda curious, are they selling? Are they what are they doing? And I started meeting photographers. I'm like, I just don't really wanna go there." Um, and I didn't know how to sell, obviously, because I was, like, thinking, "Oh, this was just a whim. Somebody just bought it." But I want you to know that if somebody buys from you, there's other people that will buy from you. And that's the I have 4 things that I'm gonna add today to help you when it comes to selling your photography. Now, you may wanna sell a lot of photography, you may wanna just sell a little bit so you can have your equipment, paid for. It's up to you on how much you wanna go into this, but you can and you will make money if you do these little tips that I wanna jump into right now. I just wanted to let you know, though, that I understand because I was all over the place, and I didn't know what I had to learn it, right? I had to learn it. So, hello. So let me show Keith, and I see it says, "What are people interested in buying, like macro or landscapes or other types of photography?" Perfect, Keith. I did do a whole I did a whole, uh, video live, and then I cut it up, and now I have on my website, which is Photobiz. Let me get my text. So I believe this is Photobiz Method. Yeah, so photobizmethod.com, and the very, very beginning of the when you hit that site, it shows how to sell photography, like how to find your clients or images that will sell. And I give you step by step on looking at your images and how to find the ones that will sell from your group of work that you've done. And what I did that because we were talking about it on this podcast. That's why I love this podcast so much because I wouldn't have done it if it wasn't for people joining the podcast. And then what I did, I added a bonus on there to help you build a portfolio of those images to attract people. And it's in the PDF. It's a PDF, but I also attached to that PDF this podcast. So you've got some really good stuff there. And if you're not part of my email list, yes, you have to sign up. You could get it. I don't care. You could get it and then unsubscribe. But the reason why we do these opt-ins, which I suggest you guys to do it, is to find your people. That's where you start your email list, and I will talk about the email list for sure. So, yeah, so I definitely have that for you, and we will talk a little bit. We're going to talk about hitting the mark on selling or selling again. That's one of the things I say. If you sold an image, let's sell again because you know that somebody has bought something from you. Now, if you haven't had a sale yet, then that PDF probably would be really good for you to try and get things rolling because you don't really know what people are liking that you make, right? But that will help you for sure. It's a whole step, Keith. So definitely do the work and I think it will really help you for sure. So let's see. And I see, hmm, I see some more showing up. Yay, I'm so happy. Hello, hello. Hi, Boris. Hi, Wallace. Nice to see you. Nice to see you. And then Boris says, I love your macro images. Oh, what sizes were you selling? Well, I license my work. So, Boris, I definitely So I'm sorry if you guys can hear me through the mic. I just realized I was drinking in the mic. I'm sorry. So what I did, that's such a great question, and thank you so much for the compliment of my macro photography. A lot of you guys may not know, but in my YouTube, I share how I make my photography. I share how I post process, and I did a macro chat live show, which is in YouTube in my place, and that's really cool too because those are shows. It's not a podcast like this. It's more of a show, and I had a lot of macro photographers talk about what they do and how they sell and all that kind of fun stuff. So, um, I love to help, and so I I think you'll get a lot out of the actual channel because when I was selling prints in the beginning, at beginning of my career, I was selling 24 by 36s, and they were very big, and they were on Gator board, and I didn't do, like, this thing called a value ladder that I teach now because I know some photographers feel like, "Oh, I can't offer this expensive thing," and, um, let me go into this because I wanna share with you I even put little steps on here, and thank you, Wallace. I appreciate you. So let me do these steps and I will come back. I'll do like I have 4 steps for you guys today, and I'll come back and check the comments because I love it, and we can talk about whatever you wanna talk about. It doesn't have to be totally about this, it's just the more conversations we have for each other to help each other, because macro photography can be sold and is sold. I've sold my pieces to a variety of companies now. That's where I go. But in the print sector, when I was doing commission work and stuff, I always did um, big pieces. That was my thing. You have to think about what you truly love to do. And when I started getting into the licensing, I loved it because that was my gig. I was working in that sector. I There's so many things, a variety of things that you could do as a photographer. So if you've got a sale, and let me push this one in because I did this for you guys because I like to do this show. How to keep the sales coming in. So that's the first thing that I just wanna touch on. I just wanna keep myself organized because Janice is a squirrel, I'll go all over the place. And so I wanna just share with you I'll share my experiences and my clients because I coach photographers, and I wanna share their experiences too. So, what happens is that you sell a piece like I did, but I didn't know what I wanted to truly offer. I just knew that Ruth loved it and she bought my piece, and I actually bartered another piece with a professor, and he made my first website, and, that was really fun too because I bartered and we could do those things too. So, but it's really not so much. I want you to change because I know you had asked about like macro photography, and a lot macro photography is something that it's really about the offer. So, like, what did you sell? If you sold a print, let's just do this for an example. If you sold a print and they loved it. Did you like this is what I wanna say. Did you like selling the print? Was it or was it just more of the excitement that somebody enjoyed your work and they wanted to pay for it? Because it's 2 different things. I mean, it's still a great feeling and I loved it, but honestly, I did not like to do the whole printing thing, and I have my own printer, I did so much stuff, and then when I did my big pieces, I sent it out to a printer, a company that I worked with, and they were amazing, but, I changed my offer. That's what I want you to think. What are you going to offer, or what do you like to do? There's people that write books, there's people that do stuff on products, there's people that like me licensing, there's people that print, there's people that do workshops. What I want you to say is, "What do I love?" And you sold something, so that means that's awesome. What do I love? That's the feeling. I don't want you to reinvent the wheel and chase the sales. I always tell these to my clients because they'll be like, "Okay, I really wanna work with companies that are in, like, the f to help with, like, I have, there's been people that have sold their pieces to say, like, Massage Envy, right? Like, these are healing places, and that's great. Did you like it? Did you like to go in that sector? Because what will happen is they'll sell those pieces, and then they'll go off and they'll do something totally different. I don't want you to do that because you have to be consistent on what you really, really love, and that's where you hit the mark. Because you sold something, say to yourself, "Did you really enjoy that?" And if you did, that's where you're gonna hit people because you're gonna talk about that. And you repurpose. I've said this before. So, as photographers, you've made a sale and maybe most of the time you've made one sale and they've really just fell in love with it. It's you gotta find out why. Why? So you could do the storytelling. I've talked about storytelling. People think a lot of photographers put their images out and they're, honestly, it's the end product. They don't people think that there's not "Oh, you just took a snapshot." No, we do way more than that. So on this part, I wanna talk about you talk to your people. What do you like? And you'd have to build an email list. I don't care what anybody says. People that sign up for your email are your people. That's how I connected with the clients that I work with. I still do to this day. Now, if you are working business to business, you don't have to have a huge email list. But if you're selling macro photography and you want to do prints or a workshop, you need to build an email list because social media is too much. They will forget about you. So, yes, start a monthly. This is what I did. This is how I made my work. This is where I'm going in next week. A lot of photographers I see say, I want to do a limited edition. I want to make money because it's limited edition. Well, nobody's going to buy your limited edition if they don't know who you are. So, yes, it's great that you sold something, but don't go so crazy up here because you've only just begun to sell. So, you will get there the more you get to know your clients and the more projects you do as to that one person or the people that you truly love, the sales will come in. Okay, so um again, I have that thing too is if you look at existing work, I have the how to find your images to sell. A lot of photographers want to make new work and think that their old work wasn't good enough. It's not that. It's not that. It's probably because you have not really expressed an older piece and how you made it and how it was shot or the how you the story, like how did you do it? Not f-stop, shutter speed, and ISO. It's more of the feelings of making it. And there's others that will feel it too. So you remarket that same piece. You remarket it several times and do it different ways. It's about building the relationship with the people that are either you're talking to or the people that are following you. And you can repurpose your work. I want you to know that what was sold is probably could be resold again. Just because one person bought the same image, one person bought that image doesn't mean you can't sell it again. You should actually say, "Hey, such and such bought this, or I sold this piece. You want it's offered again for a short time." you know. Um, so that's something I'm going to get to your chats in a little bit. I want to also just before I get into tip two is I want to express something really important is that you need to have a professional area that's just for, like, your macro photography. We'll go with that because I got the chat on the macro photography. If you put in macro photography and a couple horses, because you like horses too, and maybe a portrait, they people will not know what you do, and the algorithms it's an algorithm, it's a mathematical equation of what you're doing on social. Now, this is online stuff, okay? And actually, your website, like, if you need a place that's professional that shares what you actually sell, and what you sell is your niche, not your photography. So the niche is who are the people buying this type of stuff? Do they like macro photography because they like the fine art side of it, or they like the actual imagery that they've doing, or do they like it because they're scientists and they like to look at bugs really they're like scientists and all cool into that kind of sector? Or do they like it because you're doing nuts and bolts and they're doing, they have a nice area where they love to work at and they want to put it up on their garage or their man cave or a girl cave or whatever it is. I want you to think of that more than just the photography itself. Okay, so we got to have a professional place so when somebody comes to see what you have and what you're selling, that needs to be to the one client. I see so many photographers that I wanna say, "Please, please, I want you to focus on the one client and what you wanna sell." That's the professional place that you should have your work at. A lot of people now are using Instagram, which is great, and then eventually going off to a website to talk about testimonials and different things that you may build upon once you keep doing this, because we have to do that. But I'm going to get to that in a second. So I'm going to talk about different pricing streams too, but let me go into the chat because I love the chat. Let's see. Let's see. Okay, so what am I selling? Am I selling? Let's see. Um, let's see, Boris. Let me go over here because I could see it better. I remember you mentioning licensing. Is it still visible today? My licensing goes to companies, and the companies they license it for like a year. Most of my clients are about a year, and then we have to go over the contract to see if it's doable again. And I have something going on. Somebody stole my image, and it's pretty big, and I'll share that with you guys another time. I'm right in the middle of fighting a little bit. Maybe I should say a little bit about we all have to deal with that. Let's see. Oh gosh, I have here's copyright. Wallace. That's funny. I didn't even see that. Oh, okay. I see something else to the corporate world. Okay, we will definitely do that. Um, let me see. Okay. So Wallace says Canadian dollar copyright is the price cheaper. Wait. With Canadian dollar, to have to copyright is the price cheaper in US. I'm not sure about Canadians and US when it comes to that, about copyright. We in the United States own copyright. Um, I'll just tell you that it is a if you to fight somebody in a different country is very difficult. So, yeah. So when you have images and you're sharing that out, please make them super, super small. They can still build it, but you have to do searches, and that's what happens. So today, I will tell you, Boris, that I have somebody that helps me now license my work, and I have to pay. So I don't suggest that for you guys. Honestly, suggest you do your own diligence on connecting. And yes, I will talk. I see here. Um, how do you approach the corporate world selling to offices and hotels? So what I do um, in my coaching program, and Elise has done this, one of my clients, I give them a letter on how to connect. First, you find the company that you truly, truly love. And you got to know them. You can't be spamming people. And honestly, you start, if you've never done it before, you start with a smaller company and then you build that rapport saying, so you learn because everything's about learning. That's another thing, you have to, that's why I want to talk to you about pricing right now. Uh, did I put that up? Let me put that up. No, maybe I didn't put it up, but I will put it up. So In the letter is how you connect to you email, because in the corporate world, there's emails and there's people that actually aren't, they're the consultants or the buyers. You have to find the person that, and it's pretty easy to do this. Twitter's very good at that, and LinkedIn's very good at that. And you got to share with them what you do and how you guys can work together in this letter that I give them. And that's the first connection. And you're not spammy. He's like, "Hi, that's why in this letter too, it's more about you talking about the company itself and how you can provide help from within your work, and you're a human being, right? So then it works out really well, because they will come and look at your work. You have to put something saying, or like, at least she's like, "I don't have a website." They'll go, "That's fine." Then put some imagery that will work with the email to show them what you can provide. And she did. She got the gig. So, I mean, you got to do it. It's very cool. And she did the work. And I'm so happy from her doing what she loves, and yeah, I love that. I love the stories like that where they happen. Now, a lot of times too, we sell a piece and then nobody else buys anything. Most of the time, it's because you're waiting for them to come to you instead of like what I just shared about Elise and what I do. So again, now I have somebody help me, but I got to pay for that. The reason why I'm telling you that I'm having someone help me is because now I'm on this new path of helping photographers. And when I talk about your ideal customer, that is who the person that you're working with. I actually bring this up. Let me see if I have, let me go to this. I don't want to jump the gun because I do that all the time. So let me just talk about the pricing, but I do talk about, okay, this is it. Is this it? Yes. Okay. When we price, this is something I want to talk about how you can sell again. Once you sell an image, I don't know how much you sold it for. It should always be more. But if you did not get any testimonials, if you did not ask how they like the pieces, you have to understand your client. And like myself, I didn't even ask Ruth, like, how did you like it? Can I have a testimonial? Can I do? I didn't. We didn't learn this in college. We just were supposed to have exhibitions, and then they were supposed to sell our pieces, and then you get like maybe 50% of what the sales is. And like, "Wow, really?" I mean, so I had to learn all that. Like, oh my gosh, I should have done this. And that's one of the things that I have to express with you guys is definitely when you sell. And if you haven't done it already, then it's okay. Just the next time that you sell something with the help from this podcast, then you definitely make sure that you get a testimonial or something that says, "Hey, did you like it?" And if they didn't like it, that's okay too, because you want to make sure, well, why didn't they like it? Was it the print didn't match? Then you know that it's a printing company. Or if it's your work licensing, maybe they're like, "Oh, the file was corrupted," whatever. You, it's up to you to write all this stuff down. You have to really get this information, and definitely, so for trust purposes, on the pricing, you start, I don't care. You're not gonna start at this high thing. I hear so many artists and, "Well, you're lowering your price and it's devaluating." Is that a word? Devaluating what you do. No. We are it's called value pricing in the future, because you're showing that you give value, because you are proving that you have a photography business, and that you actually deliver what you're doing, right? And that makes the price go up. You don't keep the same pricing structure at all, ever, in your business. You will never sustain a business, but you got to start at the base, which most printing, and I have a whole thing on pricing in the CC Biz, but and most printing, it's like, how much does it cost times 3 in the very beginning? I mean, you that's just the basics times 4. after. But the latter I wanna explain is you offer something that's lower price, and then the next tier a little bit higher price, maybe a bigger print, or maybe another a larger service, maybe you commission. I've talked about the value ladder a little bit here too, but I wanna stress this to keep p people buying from you. What happens is, and I've talked about it a little bit, people will say, "Okay, I want to license like I do, but then I wanna also go into, um, do workshops," right? So, I'm licensing my photography, but then I wanna do workshops. Those are 2 different clients. I'm licensing my work. I have somebody else now go out and market and get the pieces and get the contracts sold, and then I get money from that because that person is marketing. I That's marketing my licensing now. Before, everything I talked about was licensed to hotels, licensed to restaurants, licensing because I changed my colors for you, talking to art buyers. I mean, I focused strictly on licensing, and once I did that, I got gigs on LinkedIn that I didn't even realize that you could do, like apps. They were starting the apps on TV. Will you license some of your images to my apps on the Hulu? I didn't even know what Hulu was. I think about these things, and you know what though? Because I was talking the talk is what I tell my clients. You gotta talk the talk. Now, if I'm gonna sit here and talk about licensing, and this is what I do, but I'm trying to work with photographers to help them build their business because they can build a business and they can do it, those are 2 different people, 2 different areas. It's so much work to go that route. And I know because you got to focus in on the one client, the one person that you truly want and what you like, right? So if you're doing workshops, you better focus on workshops. I mean, continually. Workshop. I'm teaching you how I photograph. I'm teaching you this. This is what I do. Or if you're printing, you better focus on printing. Maybe you want you some. I know one of my clients loved. She was making scarves off of her stuff. Then focus on the scarves continually. This is what you do. That's what keeps you bringing in money because you are talking the talk. I see some comments, so I'm gonna check on that. So, that's pretty huge. Alright, let me look and see what you guys are up to. Then I'll go to 3. What I noticed another thing I need to put in for yes, Wallace. LinkedIn has different types of channels, different niche outside photography professionals. Yes, very good. Yeah, Wallace, right? So good because, that's what I did. I started hanging out I didn't hang out with photographers. In the beginning, I did, and then I said, "They're not my tribe, they're not my people, so I need to go into people that do hospitality and learn." And I actually was thinking about being an industrial designer. For those of you that don't know me, I actually was gonna go to college for that. So I knew that was my tribe. So I knew about Pantone and, all the different things that you get to learn their verbiage the more you do it. In the beginning, it's scary because you're like, "Oh my gosh, I don't know." But you just start smaller and then you build upon your clientele to get to the big Marriotts and stuff like that, right? So yes. Um, so Keith has does black and white shots sell well? Yes, they sell well to the right people and you connect with people that like black and white photography. Matter of fact, another client of mine, excuse me, Catherine, she was really getting into she wasn't selling her work. This is when I was teaching photographers how to really improve in their photography, and I decided to stop that because there's so many photographers that do that. So I wanted to go in a different realm. But when I did have that membership, Catherine was into a group that actually sold black and white and the old black and white camera stuff. And they were huge. It was a network of people that just loved this type of photography. And then they got connections. When you're in a network, then you understand who are the people that like this stuff, like the old school. You're talking that talk. So you're hitting black and white. You're hitting different areas of people that like this style of photography. Who are they? What type of people do are they? Are they older that like the old style? It could be. I would just research everything on that and start hitting those areas. There's groups, not just photography groups again, too. It depends on what you really want to do. So yeah, let's see. Okay, so let me go to 3. Let's get over there because I wrote these up for you guys. Show 3. Number 1 mistake after their first sale. So, after the first sale, what happens is they stop selling. I know it sounds crazy because I did that. So, we get a sale and we're like, "Oh, we did it. We made it. We can sell our work. People are going to come to us all the time because I sold my work." And honestly, when I made the cover of Outdoor Photographer, I'm very proud of that. I do admit, when I made that cover, I was like, "Everybody's gonna want me." No. Boy, did I learn. It wasn't that. I was waiting for people to come to me again. So yeah, no. What happens is you get so excited and my hair is like all funky. I can feel it. Am I going all crazy? Whatever. This is just real live here. So yeah, you think that, okay, you got it. So all you have to do is just put your image out there and you're gonna get another sale. And it won't do that. It won't happen that way. There's too much competition. Do you think, like that's just reality on the truth is there's you need testimonials again. You need to build trust. That's what testimonials about. You need to show them black and white, like the feelings of black and white, the texture of black and white, how it can make it feel if you're putting it on their wall or if you're putting it on you could put it on products or whatever it is that you love. Or if you want to do a workshop, there's some you can do an offer that maybe nobody has ever done and test it out there and see if people like it. That's what's so good about social media nowadays. You could really find out because I did explain on one of the podcasts when somebody had said, "How do you get out there, Janice?" And what there's so much competition out there. And there's 2 ways that I did it. First, when I was first getting out there, I was doing and I had mentioned it before, I was doing very, very blurry. It was before Lens Baby and stuff like that, and photographers were evil. They were like, "Oh, you don't know what you're doing." But I was attracted by other people because it was so different. They were like, "Ooh, I like this. I like this style." So, yeah, as I was sharing what I was doing, that's how my imagery was different. Then I got to know my market and understood the market, which was the hospitality. And a lot of people have their artwork and they wouldn't change their artwork for nothing because it's their soul, their piece. So the art consultants were like, "Well, we could really use this color. Is there a way that you could change it?" Because they're not photographers. I said, "Yeah, I could change my work for you, of course." And I got known for, "Hey, Janice is quick and will change," and hit the mark on that. So, you will understand more and more as the people buy from you what they really like and need. So, with the black and white, yes, there's people that are out there in the black and white, but when you're talking about it, you say as you're talking more and more, the connections will be like if okay, my husband gets this is so funny. My husband gets so mad. He gets on YouTube. This goes with all the platforms. He gets on YouTube, he pushes a button, he goes and watch something that he really doesn't like, and then he gets like 5 or 6, 7 different YouTube videos that go to him. I said, "You watch that so the algorithms know what they want to push to you because all of the platforms want to keep everybody on their platform, Instagram, Pinterest, LinkedIn, Facebook, YouTube. They want everybody to stay on that platform, so they're gonna push that to you, Kevin. That's what happens. If you are a black and white photographer, everything must be black and white, everything, and you love it. You love it. Now, if you wanna do that, I'm not talking about selling, right? This is about your professional presence too. So I just want you to understand that because we all like to do a lot of variety of things. And I even talk to my clients, they say, "But what if I wanna do this?" That's fine. Does that ideal customer of yours like that style? Like what you're doing, like what you're offering. If they do, keep it in. I do landscape and macro photography. My clients like that. It's the outdoor feel of what I provide for them. So you don't have to be the expert on raindrops, right? Or whatever. You don't have to be the expert of like my friend Don, what is it? Snowflakes, right? He's the expert in that, but he does workshops to show you how to do it. He has a book on showing you how to do it. You are his client if you like to photograph snowflakes. So think of it. That's his ideal customer. You that like to photograph snowflakes. So that's what I'm talking about too is make sure that you keep the connection going and treat it as a business. So you gotta start sharing, but you gotta let them know what they could buy. You gotta sell. You gotta sell and feel confident about it. Yes, I have this piece coming out. I'm working on it. Get them excited and then provide the offer of what you're going to sell. Again, I will say it till I'm blue in the face. You keep an image up on your website and it's there for 2 years, they say, "Oh, I can come back to it later." Urgency is just as important in our sector as any other business that's out there. So you can leave some of your images up there so they can understand what you're doing. But when you want one piece to be very, that one piece that you sold, that's going to be your ultimate. This sold again. I'm offering it again for this week, and that's it. Or whatever it is that you're doing. Urgency is important to us. It is big. And I wish, again, that somebody was there to tell you that. And I'm here for you guys. Okay. So think about that. Go through your imagery when you get off of here and think about what you can really push out and only offer. So what if it wasn't that? So if it doesn't get sold again, you're still talking about it, you're sharing it on your professional presence, you're connecting with people and sharing even more details about the piece. That is so much easier than just putting your images out and say, "Oh, look, I just went on this hike and this is what I got." I mean, it's just a way better, effective, fun way to really connect as a business and to sell again because you're going to offer it again. Okay, let's see if there's any more. And I'm sorry if I miss you guys. I love that you're chatting. You don't even know how happy I am. I'm so happy. And then we'll do the last one. Let's see. Okay, let's see what Keith says. In photography, does primary colors or secondary colors attract people? It depends. Okay, so we're talking photography here. This is great. Great question, Keith. If it depends on your client, right? If I'll just explain my situation. My clients can have the okay, let's just talk about we'll just talk about in general. So let's just say I know some clients that will have this big, huge there's, one girl that I'm thinking about right now, and it's an ocean, and there's a teeny little boat in there. Teeny little boat, but it's all, like, soft and just relaxing. It's a teeny little boat. Her clients like that feeling of, like, vastness and a teeny little boat, and a lot of her stuff is very dreamy feeling. Very dreamy with not very much in it, but her clients like that. That's their decor. That's their feeling. They like the water. So they don't care about primary colors. Primary colors work great if your clients like it. So let's just give you an example here. Why do a lot of people like sunsets? Because it has the red and the blue. It has different feelings to it. So if you are focused on changing you'll hear photographers teach this stuff because that's attracting us creatives. But does your client really like that? So let's just talk about Elise, my client that does she leaves space in her pieces so people can write on her so her clients can take her imagery and write like a little poem or write something on it, or she will write something on it, right? She'll write something on there. And these are cards. She's really into getting into cards. She likes to write. See, she likes these things. She's not worried about primary colors because it has to flow on the verbiage that's going to be written on her macro photography. She does a lot of macro photography, but she leaves space that could be written on her cards. So, yeah, it will attract people if that's what your clients are going for. So, let's go into are you selling let's do this. What are your clients doing? Are they buying prints? And if they're buying prints, what kind of style why would they be buying this print? I mean, like, are they a cabin type of people where they're out in the like my aunt, they had a house in Idaho and everything was like very wood and outdoorsy. So she was more into the browns and stuff and the soft browns and all that kind of stuff. She didn't really care. I mean, she didn't have like the big sunsets and different a lot of color. Now, I was not her client because I didn't do a lot of that stuff. I have a lot of vibrant colors in my work. So, yeah, it depends on well, I would if you did a lot of work on primary colors, of course, we're not gonna talk primary colors, we're gonna talk about the color of you making these pieces. You're gonna talk about, I love color, and this is why the color, this red really attracted me with the yellow, whatever it is. That's your talk. You're gonna talk the talk again, and so that will build clientele because you're talking about primary colors if that's what you want and secondary colors. And really, it's about a color. So, when in college, we had to do a color wheel and we had to paint the color wheel to make it perfect. The color wheel, starts in the middle and then you go aside and then you add and that was really interesting. That was hard and I wanted it to be so perfect. And I got to learn more about color and I'm wondering what maybe that's why I like color so much. And really opposites attract on the color wheel. So if you do a color wheel, and especially in Lightroom, it's pretty cool now they have all that stuff where you can adjust things. So if you want to do something like that and you're the color person and you want to do the primary or secondary colors or whatever you want you go out there and test it and you work it and you see if your clients or what you're doing sells. But again, I really feel like you should go to things change if you're talking about prints and putting things on the wall, things change like clothes. So you never know. Most of the time we do from our soul. But you may be hitting something or you have something in the past that you don't even know. So that's why I think you should go and grab that freebie because it's so important that you have work that you can sell again. Let's talk about brand too, because I was kind of talking about Keith and the branding, which is the fourth. So a lot of people, this is the fourth one that I'm going to show, and then I'll be wrapping it up. A lot of people don't understand what brand is. Is it showing up there for brand? Yes, for consistent sales. So most of us love the fun stuff. And I did a video here about branding. And um, I wasted a lot of time making my website in the very beginning because I thought, "Oh, they're gonna love my website. They're gonna," and talking about everybody, right? I'm talking about everyone. I'm gonna have my name and my logo and my colors and all kinds of stuff. And that's not really what a brand is. A brand is you, because you are the creative, your values, who you are as a person, who you want to hang out with. Like, I have somebody that loves to hike, does waterfalls, goes out there in the water and shoots these waterfalls and has these big old long one of my clients has this big old long plastic pants thing, and I'm like, "You gotta show more of that. You gotta show more of that, like, you behind the scenes like that is so cool so people could see that this is your people, that what you do and how you get this work, and the traction for these people, the brand is outdoorsy and hikers and connecting to the to waterfalls and oh my gosh, it's so that's the brand. The brand is you as individual, because you don't who cares if somebody doesn't like the outdoors, they're like, "Oh, there's too much bugs." That's not your people. That's not your people. The people are what you are as a human being. You don't change yourself for the sale, is what I always tell everybody. Please don't change and try to get the sale. You be the way you are, and people will not like you. And it's okay. People don't like me. It's okay. You just say bye bye. But the people I work with, I love. I love my art director that I work with. Oh my gosh, she's just amazing. So I just feel like if you just start really getting out there and you sold the piece and you sold one, to brand yourself to that, because if you liked it, if you like what you did, then start talking the way you talk. I had somebody tell me, this is what I had someone tell me, and I know, no, I'm not going to do this. They said, Janice, now that you're a coach, you need to change your coaching colors to tan and white. And I appreciate you guys giving me tips. And I appreciate him. Took a lot of time. And I said, no, because you don't understand my clients. My clients are outdoorsy doing sunsets and sunrises, and purples are the ticket when it comes to that stuff. These are my clients now. Yes, back in my days before, I had different colors because those what the clients liked, but that's what I was doing. I was enjoying my people. And so that's how you build a brand, because you enjoy who you're selling to and you make that and talk to the people that you enjoy. They know the lingo. If somebody comes on and they don't understand, like, let's say you're a workshop, I always tell people, if you're not selling a workshop, you don't need to talk about f-stop, shutter speed, and ISO unless you're trying to attract clients to do a workshop to teach them how to photograph. Otherwise, what you're doing is you're talking about the journey of making the piece and how you've took it in and post-processed to make this image beautiful and the feelings that they're getting from whatever you're doing. That's your brand, and you share that off to the world. Yes, you do pick colors, but you pick colors that you know that are gonna attract. You're a black and white photographer. Black and white is the ticket. Everything should work around that, right? It will People will stop the scroll. People will stop. The right people. Your story, your voice, and your message is part of that photograph, is part of what you sell. And it's amazing when you hit the people and can sell again. And then when you do a second time and you sell it again, make sure you get that testimony. Make sure you ask them, keep connecting to them. That's why I don't like, and you can never sell if you put your images on a website and you're not talking to your people. You will not sell. There's no way, one, maybe one or two, but I'm not here to give you one or two sales. I'm talking about consistently making money. Okay, so let me see if there's any more. And one of you guys start chatting it up, say hi. I'm going to give you one of you guys a gift. And what I'm going to do is the gift for this time, I didn't have enough time to put it up on the screen. I like to give gifts at the end of each of my podcasts. And I think what I want to do this time is do a mug and it says progress over perfection, because this is another problem that I feel. I've given you a lot of information. Please don't worry about all of it. Just think about yourself and things that you could do within these 4 steps to build your profitable photography business because I'm sure that if you haven't sold another piece, it's probably because you haven't touched one of these 4 that I have discussed with you today, and it will help you. Don't jump all over the place and think, "Okay, I can't sell that, so I'm not going to be able to do it." You have to really give it some time and really focus on it. Really focus on what you're selling, okay? All right, will check and see what we have here before I say goodbye. Let me go back over here and let me look. Let's see. I have to scroll down each time. I need to tell them that, like, why do I have to keep scrolling down? It should just say. Hey. All right. Oh, Soul's here. Hi. Oh my gosh, I didn't know she was here. Hello. Nice to see you. Oh my gosh, you just made my day. Okay, so am I missing? I might be missing stuff. So if I've missed a comment, and it's great. After this is done, I will go down to the comments. Well, I have a couple meetings today, but within the 24 hours, I will make sure to answer your questions down below if I missed you guys, okay? Because I am seeing there's a lot of good stuff in here and I want to make sure that I answer all your questions. Um, let's see. Yes, a table book. You could do a table book. Remember we had, it's still that if that's what you want to do, that you got to focus on that completely for sure. Oh, thank you. Thank you. Yes, this is new for me. Nice to tune in into the new episode. Oh my gosh. Thank you. Okay, so let's see. Let me I'm gonna do it over here. Keep keep because I'm just gonna close my eyes and I'm just gonna if you have want to put more comments in, I have my big computer up because when I try to do it from here, I never can get the person. I just want to close my eyes. So go ahead and say hi, whatever. What did you like? Is there any topics that you want me to cover next time? I'm a little delayed. And then what I'll do is I'll give at the end I'll pick somebody, I'll get the mug, Progress Over Perfection, because I want you guys to know that a lot of people stop selling because they want to be perfect before they sell again. And no, we just can't do that. We just have to keep moving forward and get that going. Let's see what I have over here and then I'll check the chat. If any of you guys want to hang out on with marketing, I have a marketing for landscape and nature photography and in Facebook. You can join me there. The podcast go there. I have a client connection kit, and this podcast will definitely go through, and I'll cut it all up, and you guys can listen to just that. This is a connection kit where I teach you how to connect with people. It's a video and all that fun stuff. So you get all that goodies too if you want to. That's on PhotoBiz Method. You could see client connection kit with video if you're interested in that. Very good, reasonable. And this is CC Biz Method. This is just about me while you guys are putting comments in. And this is my number one thing. It's a wait list right now. It's coming out towards the end of the month or beginning of April. We're still working on it. So I'm going to launch this soon, and we'll only be launching for a week, and then that's it because I'm doing it live. I'm teaching live, and I'm going to work with people individually. So not individually, but as a group. But I'm going to be doing it live. So that's coming up next. And I think, oh, is that the last one? Okay, so let me go in to do this and look at the chat, and I'm just going to come over here. Okay, here we're going to do. I'm just going to go up and down, up and down, up and down, and I'm just going to point my finger over here and see who it is. Keith. Keith won. Woohoo! Keith, you won. It's the one where it says, "Thank you, Boris. I know now." So you guys were talking, hey, and I see Soul over there. So Keith, this is how you get your goodie. So let me go over here. You got to email me at So you could see support at ccphotobizmethod.com and just say you're a winner. And then this way I can get your mug to you and mail it to you. So, yay, Keith won. And then next week, I will do a new podcast. I'm not sure what I'm going to talk about. Depends on what you guys have asked. Maybe I'll do something for you. And then I will pick a new one. I love giving little gifts away. So thank you so much, you guys, for hanging out with me. And remember that people pay for value and you are valuable. All right. Cheers, everyone. Have a good one. Bye.